The most frequently asked question that I get is, how did you learn English? So even though I'm still learning and I make lots of mistakes, I think that I have quite a few hints and tips on how to learn a language. So if you know basics of a language but you want to take it to the next level, this video is made for you. I've made a similar video in the past before, but that was years ago, and also it was only made in Polish. So this time I'm also making an English version, not only to also reach non-Polish speaking audience, but also to give those of you who do speak Polish an extra opportunity to come into contact with the English language if that's the one you're trying to learn. So let's get on to the first step, surrounding yourself with the language. This is something I started doing about a couple of years after I started learning English, so I already had all of the basics covered and I could understand enough to be able to start watching YouTube in English. So for me, surrounding myself with the language mostly meant online because I don't live abroad. I live in Poland. People around me don't speak English. So I went online. I found lots of videos that were in the topics that interest me. It was like 2010 and later, so it was mostly room tours, hauls, like makeup routines. It was all of the basic videos, and what I love about them is that it's the type of video where people show you something and then they explain it to you. So during hauls, they would use a t-shirt, they would show it to you, and then they would say, oh, it's a red t-shirt and it has stripes on it. So even if you didn't have the necessary vocabulary to know what the word means, it comes just naturally because that's how children learn languages. You don't really teach them, they just see everything around them and can put two and two together, and their vocabulary grows that way instead of having like, okay, this is the word in Polish, now this is that same word in English. I never did that, so I didn't have to like sit and learn new words. I was able to do that more organically. I think that you can execute this specific step in countless of ways, but I do want to give you a couple of examples so that you have something to start with. I would say take something that you already do and turn it into a language learning experience. So you probably use your phone and your computer a lot. Go into settings and try to change your system language into the language that you want to learn. You can do that with games too. I personally love Sims 2, so I just use that in English, and now I just cannot go back to Polish. But if you don't want to get that committed, you can just use specific apps in English. So I do recommend language learning apps, and the one I've been currently using is called Speakly. Language learning apps are one of the easiest way to start your journey with a language or to continue working on your skill. I often get questions about what apps I recommend, so I'm super excited to be working on this video with Speakly. It's available on web and mobile, both for Android and iOS. This kind of availability allows me to make a habit of learning on a daily basis. Just grab your phone whenever you have 5 or 10 minutes, and instead of scrolling aimlessly online, you boot up the app and learn something new. What I like most about Speakly is the choices that it gives me. I can learn by writing, listening, talking. You can choose whether you want to focus on writing or multiple choice exercises. The app also recommends you songs and guides you through real life scenarios, so thanks to that, it doesn't get boring. The method that the app uses focuses on teaching you words that are the most useful in communication, so that I'm able to learn the most practical words and phrases first. I enjoy how it shows me how many words I've learned so far, and also the average percentage of a conversation that I would be able to understand with my current vocabulary. Speakly offers a free 7-day trial, so I encourage you to click the link in the description and start learning today. I'm gonna give you a couple of more examples for how you can surround yourself with a language. Exercising. I love yoga for beginners. You can watch YouTube videos where people show you poses and they also explain them at the same time. It's amazing. Another thing, cooking using recipes online written in a specific language. One thing that can be kind of tricky is that you might need to convert some of it, but I guess that can be fun in itself. And last but not least, I recommend content where you can listen to a text and read it at the same time. It's very helpful. Those could be audiobooks, and also some articles online have audio versions. So I think at one point I started creating scenarios and narrating them, sometimes in my head, sometimes out loud, based on what I already know from what I already listened to. So if I've seen like 10 room tours every single day for the past week, now I can walk into my own room and I can kind of use the knowledge and vocabulary that I have to be able to explain my own room. So even if you're not consciously studying because you're not sitting down to learn tenses and grammar, your brain still picks up so much from what you're already watching and listening to. And at one point you'll be able to not only memorize those structures, but also to copy them and use them. And since there are so many different ways of surrounding yourself with a language, please let me know in the comments what your ways of doing that are, because I think that would be very inspiring for the other people to see the examples of what they can do. Okay, but let's move on to the second step, which is actually using the language. I know it can be a difficult step to make to start speaking the language, which is why I recommend starting by writing. That's what I did for about 2 years when I found a community online that was focused on a topic I enjoyed. In my case, that was Sims Online. And during that time, I met hundreds of amazing people, and I'm still friends with some of them. And that's also where I met my current girlfriend. So you never know who you might meet. Besides working on your skills, you might also find your soulmate. Using the language every single day, despite making lots of mistakes, is what helped me take my English to the next level. And then there came a point where I started talking to people using my voice as well. I spoke to Amy on video calls every single day, and year after year, I get better and better, especially when it comes to my accent. I also want to create a space for you that will allow you to meet new people and work on your English. So I created a whole new Discord server because I created it for my Twitch viewers because I started streaming on Twitch. So yeah, we would love to have you there if you want to join. And on Twitch, I'm live a few times a week, sometimes even daily. So if you want to be productive with me, you can join one of my Focus With Me streams over on Twitch. That one will also be linked in the description. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!